Hi, everybody. Bridget Potterton here with the Bridge Coast team at Keller Williams from San Diego, California.
And this is Teresa Bastian with Let's Move Austin in Austin, Texas.
And we are both certified divorce real estate experts. And today,
That's right.
we want to talk to you about a topic that you don't hear about quite as much. And that is what happens when you are going through a divorce and you are awarded a home. Whether it's a home that you live in or maybe a rental property, we're going to talk about some of the things that you may want to think about before you decide what to do with it.
That's right. It's oftentimes a time of life. Going through a divorce can be a little overwhelming. And sometimes people overlook some of the considerations that we as divorce real estate experts can kind of see they should anticipate. So that's what we're bringing to you today. Bridget, do you want to talk about some of the factors that people should consider in evaluating whether they should keep a home?
Yeah, let's talk about that first. So the biggest thing is, number one, can you afford to keep the home? Now, typically, if your attorney or advisor asks you that question, the thing you think about is, can I afford my mortgage? And for a lot of people, maybe that answer is yes. However, there are additional costs when you own a home. In addition to your mortgage, maybe you have homeowners association dues. The biggest thing people forget about is maintenance, maybe repair items. If you or your ex were maintaining the home and now maybe just with one person living there or one adult living there, maybe it's too hard to maintain it. Maybe you're going to have to hire additional people to do repairs and maintenance on the home. The taxes, of course, sometimes people forget about the taxes that are due.
And that property taxes can go up.
Yeah. And upgrading and updating the home right now. I know I have a lot of clients, because of our weather, are talking about upgrading and getting air conditioning in their home, because here in San Diego, a lot of people don't have it. And that's an expense. A lot of people can't afford that. And so when you own a home that doesn't have AC, or maybe it has a pool and you can't afford to maintain it anymore, you need to ask yourself, can I afford the entire home, not just the mortgage?
And think about what your long-range plan is. If you're going to, your desire is to live in the home 10 or 20 more years, do you have enough money to keep the basic updates and upgrades to the home? Or 20 years from now, if you go to sell, will it have the original, kitchen and bathroom that it does now? Because that can be difficult to sell a home that needs a lot of upgrades.
Absolutely. Now, Teresa, what about if somebody owns a property that either is a rental or they're considering maybe moving out and turning it into a rental? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We see this decision point quite a bit, especially if the married couple did own property. Perhaps someone now is awarded a rental where they weren't really a hands-on person dealing with tenants. So I think the first thing to do is to get a realtor to evaluate what the rent should be. And if you have had the property as a rental, you can look back on what your bills and expenses have been. If it hasn't been a rental, you can anticipate or estimate, a certain percentage into repairs per year, a certain percentage into factoring in vacancies. For some people, the idea of a tenant calling them because the AC stopped working, to your point earlier, we all have AC in Texas pretty much. And if it stops working, it is dire. So if you don't want someone to call you with that last minute, repair item, you may factor in paying a property manager to buffer you. You want to factor in what the anticipated appreciation is going to be for that asset. Maybe it does make sense, even if you hire a property manager and you set aside money for repairs, what you think that property is going to do in 5-10 years makes sense to keep it as a rental. It may be that you decide to sell it and take the money you would make on it and put it in a different investment that you could be more hands off of. But you need to have a professional run the numbers for you as a starting point.
That's a great point. Thank you so much, Teresa. Again, Teresa is located in Austin, Texas, and I am in San Diego, California. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Hey, Bridget.